obviously there's still some time to go before the January transfer window comes and we all get transfer crazy again. But we can give you a little taste of it now because there are some transfer rumors floating around, Janusz. So I want to pick your brain about them. The very first one, though, is Luka Modric. We know that he's getting on in age, but he's still amazing as always. Probably just doesn't have the legs as he used to. But Luka Modric to Inter Miami. Now, this little rumor has started from the fact that Leo Messi, who we know is doing absolute bits at Inter Miami, wants him there and has already spoken to David Beckham and has said, sign my dude. I've come up against him many a times and now I want to play alongside him. So Luka Modric to Inter Miami. I mean, David Beckham is another, former Galactico Real Madrid player. He definitely will know exactly how talented even a 37-year-old Luka Modric would be.
Some older legs with Busquets. Look, Leo Messi, is not only, arguably the best of all time, but he's also very smart and intelligent, right?
Yeah.
He knows that he wants him now because this is going to be about now for Leo Messi as well.
Yeah.
If Leo Messi is going to win the MLS Cup, he knows he's got to do it next season or the season after, and most likely that's going to be the end for him, right? So that's why he wants him. Major League Soccer is not forgiving when it comes to being an older player because of all the travel, the conditions, especially in the summertime. And even though I think that Luka Modric has 2 sets of longs, it's not going to be easy, but I think he's capable. He's a true professional, and the legs may be gone for the top of the top of the top, but I think in Major League Soccer, he can still do it. Part of me, and of course, people on this side of the pond, Alexis, as you would know, would say, well, we want to get rid of that tag of the retirement league, but this is Inter Miami. I think Inter Miami for the rest of days, or at least for the foreseeable future, will have to have big names coming over, right? Because we know how fickle Miami market is, and we've even seen with Leo Messi at home, right? When he comes off the pitch, people leave. So I think the idea of just having young players, which by the way they have, it's not going to fly there. I think Inter Miami is going to have to be the Galacticos of Major League Soccer. Otherwise, I think in a way they're going to be irrelevant. So I think this is one club where I would make an exception to the thinking of always getting, the world stars coming to Major League Soccer when it's all said and done. I think they're made for that. That market, Miami. So I don't really mind it. And I think for a season or two, I still think that Luka Modric could contribute. Maybe not every day, but you don't have to, right? I mean, if you're smart, Tata Martino is a smart manager. I think he would pick and choose the big games or the games that he would feel that Luka Modric can help.
All right, well, from a player who already has a lot of miles in his legs to one who's still just kind of trying to find his way at Manchester City, Kalvin Phillips to Arsenal is the rumor that we're hearing. And this also has been heating up considering the Euros are upon us next year. And the truth is Gareth Southgate will always look for players. We know how valuable Kalvin Phillips is to England, but you're going to have to choose players in that squad who are getting playing time. And right now for Manchester City, it doesn't look like Kalvin Phillips is getting as much playing time as he would want right now. So would a move to Arsenal and a potential link up with Declan Rice, who he plays so well with on England's team, would that be a good move for the former Leeds man?
Possible.
The Yorkshire Pirlo, as I like to call him.
Yeah, I mean, possible. If they, if they play together, which they could, obviously. I don't want to say that's a vote of no confidence for Kai Havertz if he's going to be there or thereabout. But I mean, Odegaard picks himself. Declan Rice picks himself. Could play, of course, because if we look at Kalvin Phillips, he's not your holding midfielder, even though he had to play that quite often, especially at Leeds. And I can see it. Mikel Arteta obviously comes from Manchester City. We've seen players move to Arsenal. He understands him. He knows him, I suppose. Well, I mean, Arteta wasn't there at the time, but I can see it. I can see why Kalvin Phillips would want to go there. Certain amount of risk because of injuries and because we haven't seen very good Kalvin Phillips since he was at Leeds in the beginning under Marcelo Bielsa. I haven't seen that because of his injuries and lack of form. He's never come back to that level. So It's a big risk, but I suppose, look, if Arteta trusts him, it's much better move for Kalvin Phillips and a lot more risk to Arsenal, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it was interesting comments from Pep Guardiola, I suppose, that has kind of fueled this, considering he recently said that he almost wishes that he could get the best out of Kalvin Phillips, like Marcelo Bielsa did. So to hear Pep say that does make you kind of shudder a little bit if you're Kalvin Phillips.